It was a rainy evening in the small town of Ashford. The streets were empty, and the only sound was the constant tapping of raindrops against the windows. Inside a dimly lit house at the end of Birchwood Lane, three friends gathered for a sleepover: Emily, Daniel, and Sophie. The house belonged to Emily's grandmother, who had recently passed away. It had been sitting empty for months, filled with dusty furniture, cobwebbed corners, and the faint smell of mildew. Emily thought it would be fun, and a little spooky, to spend a night there. "I swear this place feels haunted," Sophie whispered, hugging her knees as the storm rattled the windows. "Haunted by creaky pipes and old wallpaper, maybe," Daniel replied with a smirk. He was the skeptic of the group, always brushing off anything supernatural. But Emily wasn't so sure. She had grown up hearing strange tales from her grandmother about something called the Labubu, a mischievous, sharp-toothed creature that lurked in the shadows. Her grandmother always warned her, "Never stay in the house after dark if you hear the scratching." That night, as the clock struck midnight, the scratching began. At first, it was faint, like a mouse inside the walls. But soon, it grew louder, nails dragging slowly across wood, moving from room to room. "What is that?" Sophie asked, her voice trembling. "Probably a rat," Daniel muttered, though he looked less confident than before. Emily's face had gone pale. "No, it's not a rat. My grandmother used to tell me about this sound. She said it was the Labubu, looking for someone who stayed too long in the dark." Sophie's eyes widened. "Labubu? What's that?" Emily hesitated. "A kind of trickster spirit. Small, but fast. It laughs when it's close to you. And once it chooses you, it doesn't let go." As if on cue, a giggle echoed down the hallway. It wasn't a child's laugh, but something warped and sharp, like glass scraping together. Daniel stood quickly, grabbing a flashlight. "Okay, whoever's playing games, cut it out," he shouted. The beam of light swept across the hallway. For a split second, they all saw it: a hunched, shadowy figure with oversized ears, jagged teeth, and wide, unblinking eyes. Its grin stretched far too wide across its face. Then it darted out of sight with a speed that made their stomachs turn. Sophie screamed, "Oh my God, it's real!" Daniel slammed the door shut, locking it. It was probably some animal. Before he could finish, the giggle came again, this time inside the room with them. The three froze. Slowly, Emily turned her head toward the corner. There, crouched on top of a dresser, was the Labubu. Its claws tapped against the wood as it tilted its head, studying them with childlike curiosity. Emily whispered, "Don't move." The creature let out another distorted laugh and leapt from the dresser. The flashlight flickered violently, plunging the room into darkness. Sophie screamed again as something brushed past her ankle. They bolted for the door, but it wouldn't budge. No matter how hard Daniel pulled, the knob wouldn't turn. Behind them, the sound of scratching filled the room, circling them like a predator. "Grandmother said," Emily stammered, trying to remember. "She said the Labubu hates mirrors. It can't stand its own reflection." Sophie's eyes darted around. "There's an old mirror in the hall." But the hall was where they had first seen it. Summoning her courage, Emily shoved Daniel aside and rammed her shoulder against the door. With a loud crack, it flew open, and the three sprinted down the hallway. The Labubu's laughter echoed close behind, bouncing from wall to wall. They reached the end of the corridor where a tall, cracked mirror leaned against the wall. Emily grabbed it, nearly dropping it from the weight, and spun it toward the approaching sound. The Labubu appeared in the beam of the flickering flashlight, teeth bared and claws ready to strike. But when its reflection caught in the mirror, the creature let out a blood-curdling screech. Its grin faltered, and its body writhed unnaturally, as if the sight of itself was unbearable. The mirror trembled in Emily's hands as cracks spread across the glass. Then, with a violent shatter, the mirror exploded into pieces. The Labubu vanished in an instant, leaving nothing but silence and shards glittering across the floor. The three stood in stunned quiet, their hearts pounding. "Is it gone?" Daniel whispered. Emily shook her head slowly. "Not gone. Just hiding. It always comes back." As they turned to leave the house, Sophie glanced behind them. In the broken fragments of the mirror, she swore she saw the Labubu's wide grin staring back, waiting for the next time someone dared to stay too long in the dark. And somewhere deep in the silence, faint and mocking, came a giggle,